Good to see you there.
Howdy, Mr. Piper.
Hello. Good to see you.
Wanted to catch up with you real quick and just ask you a few questions about the race this weekend. So you're looking forward to your role as your coach in the women's alumni squad this weekend?
Well, Bill, as you probably know, it's not like I sit around and dwell on what may have happened during my cross-country coaching career. In fact, most of the things I can't even remember. It's been so long. It's not like I sit around and look at stats and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to getting back into it.
Well, it's a nice tradition that you will be coaching the women's side, and Coach Killer Kaiser will be coaching the men's side this weekend. But as we took a look at the women's alumni squad, we couldn't help that there's a lot of talented runners. There's a former All-American in Mary Dell and several other talented athletes. So have you given much thought in the way of assigning a lineup, so to speak, or trying to go anything in that route?
Well, I would sort of assess, without being cocky, sort of assess our situation like this. We don't really have runners 1 through 7. We have 7 number ones in this year's lineup.
Is that the case? Are that confident?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you also look at the current Shippensburg University squad. They have a talented young lady in Neely Spence and coached by her father, Steve Spence. It's a pretty solid coaching staff, pretty solid group they have.
Well, there's no question they have a group of excellent athletes there and a superior coaching staff. However, I've faced coaches of the caliber of, say, Joe Koch from East Stroudsburg, Keith White from Millersville. So I think we're up to the task.
You think the women's alumni squad potentially has what it takes?
I think maybe even more than it takes.
Between Paul Kaiser and Galen Piper, there's a lot of wins there, and they're outstanding coaches. I've learned a lot from them over the years, and you know, I'm honored to be the only other cross-country coach that the university has ever had for the women other than Galen Piper. So, and I'm closing in on years. I'm not quite there yet. I think he put in about 20, and I think this is my 14th. But excellent coaches, and I'm just so grateful that they're coming back and helping out and having fun with it. They have a lot of talent to work with. I told our team the other night that our alumni teams may be some of the better teams that they face all year long. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out. I did hear a lot of trash talking from our most recent alumni back in the spring, and they haven't been doing quite as much trash talking lately, as I think the reality of post-college life and jobs and everything has settled in, and they realize that training as a post-collegiate isn't as easy as it initially seems.
They've said, like, they've been training hard and stuff, but so have we. So I think, you know, we're just training through because we're pretty confident, and, you know, we did really well at nationals last year, and so, you know, postseason's obviously our main goal, but this is pretty important as well. And, you know, for some of them, they've been training hard this summer, and for others, they've just been resting hard to get ready.
I'm really not too worried about the alumni at this point. I mean, you got a guy like Wags that comes back here every year, and he's consistently good. But as far as last year's seniors, I don't really expect too much trouble from them. Sean Stetler came at Gillette and I on Twitter the other day, telling us he did a 6-mile workout at 5:08 pace. But Stet's a track guy. Like, we all know Stet's a track guy. As soon as he steps on the cross-country course, he's immediately at least 2 to 3 minutes slower than he'd normally be. He's pretty urban, so I don't think he's really used to the whole grass thing. So I think when he gets to the cross-country course, it gets with his head. And Barry Sittler almost drowned a couple years ago, so the water is kind of an issue for him. Beagle, who knows what kind of shape he's going to be in. I mean, the guy was third in the region after running 3 times, so we'll see. But overall, not too concerned about alumni.
Got nothing on us, pretty much. I mean, we're guaranteed to go 1-2. Just the way we race, it's always us finishing right next to each other, so yeah.
Gillette's an All-American and national champion at the 1500, where he's developed his kick. So if any of those guys are within like 200 meters with about half a mile to go, then they're pretty much done for.
When I'm kicking, he's always with me, right behind me, or in front.
I think our women alumni have ever won this meet, and it very well could be the first year. You know, with all the talent and with Coach Piper's motivational abilities, it's, you know, we're definitely in trouble. and we have a lot to overcome in order to get a victory on Saturday.
We've been training really hard for this moment. Last year we weren't allowed to race, so really we've had a whole year to prepare.
As the women's alumni coach, have you given much in the way of, say, pre-race preparation in terms of tactics or other methods?
Well, it's pretty much the basic tactic. Get to the finish line first. Don't take any shortcuts. About the same advice I gave my team over the years when I coached here at the university.
That sounds about right. Now, any, say, rituals or anything like that to get ready for the race?
Well, a couple things. Over the weekend, I stopped shaving because I always do that for the big meets.
Well, I stopped shaving as well a few days ago, so I should have some good scruff by Saturday. And not only did I stop shaving, but I told all the girls and the guys to stop shaving as well. So usually we reserve that for the end of the year, but this is such an important meet to us that we're going to pull out all the stops right now. The truth is, most of the alumni are recent graduates and that I coach. So the way I see it, and being an alumni, I win either way.
And then I thought maybe I had to pull this one out of the hat because I guess it really indicates, even for an early season meet, that we're being very serious about it, and I hate to have a lot of pressure. But I did recall one thing that worked effectively for me the last couple of years I coached. It was considered to be a rather odd part of my wardrobe, but as I stepped on the bus one day and the women on the team said, "Coach, what is on your head?" I said, "Let me tell you something. I wore this hat because, as I did in the 90s, on Saturday, we'll be hunting for a title."